My friends, the world you see around you is not the cause of what you are. It is the reflection of what you accept as true about yourself. The wealth you desire, the luxury you dream of, the confidence you imagine living in. It is all waiting for one single act, the act of assumption. Before you ever hold $1 million in your hands, you must first hold it in your consciousness. Before the world can mirror abundance, you must walk, speak, breathe, and think as one who already has it. You have been taught since birth to believe that life happens to you, that you must wait for the right circumstances, the right job, the right luck. But life is not a reaction, it is creation. You are not a beggar in a universe of chance. You are the creative power itself clothed in human form. And so long as you remain in the state of wanting, you will continue to experience want. The door to wealth does not open when you get money. It opens when you become wealth in your mind. The millionaire does not become one because of money. He becomes one because of state. Money simply rushes to fill the vacuum created by belief. To act like a millionaire before the money is not to pretend or to fake. It is to awaken to the truth that what you call reality is only a delayed photograph of your inner imagination. The act is not play acting. It is creation in motion. Every great empire, every fortune, every invention began not in a vault, but in an unseen picture held by one who dared to believe it real. So, what does it mean to act like a millionaire? It means to assume the inner posture of already being that which you long to be, to carry yourself in the dignity of abundance, to speak words that come from certainty, not scarcity, to make decisions as one who knows he can afford, to trust the unseen laws that govern manifestation. The way you think about yourself, the way you move through the world, the way you react to challenges. These are the acts of your hidden mind. They broadcast your state louder than any words can. Let me tell you a secret that few understand. There is no power in effort without assumption. You can work 20 hours a day, chase opportunities, hustle endlessly, and yet if your inner talk still says, I am struggling, you will remain a struggler. But if you close your eyes and dwell in the feeling of being financially free, even for a few moments, and return to that state over and over, life will begin to mold itself to that vision. The external world is plastic to the nature of your inner speech. When I speak of acting like a millionaire, I speak of adopting the feeling of ease, of calm certainty, of generosity that flows naturally from one who has. A millionaire's vibration is not anxious, it is assured. He does not chase, he attracts. He does not question how. He knows that the law of consciousness will orchestrate every circumstance to match his state. You may have not a single coin to your name, but if you can sustain the awareness of already being wealthy, unseen currents will begin to move. Opportunities will appear, ideas will surface, people will show up, doors will open, all as the reflection of your state. The outer world has no choice but to follow your inner acceptance. The moment you assume wealth, not hope for it, not wish for it, but assume it, you set in motion forces beyond logic. This is why so many fail. They want proof before belief. But belief itself is the proof of power. When you insist on evidence before faith, you reverse the law. Evidence is the shadow that follows belief, not the master that commands it. Imagine for a moment that you woke up tomorrow and a vast fortune had already been transferred to your account. How would you feel? What would you do? How would you move, speak, think, and carry yourself through the day? That is the secret key. You do not wait for the money to feel that way. You feel that way now, and the money will find you. Consciousness is the only cause, wealth is the effect. To wait for external proof is to confess lack. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to confess power. You may say, but how can I feel rich when bills surround me, when debts whisper at my door? And I say, ignore appearances. for they are but the fading echoes of your past states. The moment you withdraw attention from what you do not wish to perpetuate, it begins to die. The moment you feed your mind on the new reality, it begins to grow. You are the gardener of your world. Sow abundance in thought and harvest abundance in fact. Do not confuse this with arrogance or delusion. Acting like a millionaire is not flaunting false wealth. It is embodying quiet assurance. The truly rich soul has no need to shout. His power is calm because he knows the unseen hand of imagination is already working. You may walk into a store and buy nothing, yet feel as though all of it belongs to you in consciousness. That feeling, held consistently, draws the outer conditions that match it. The universe is not responding to what you say, it is responding to what you are. To live this truth, you must practice inner discipline. When your senses scream that you are poor, close your eyes and enter the silence. There, see yourself as you wish to be. Hear the congratulations of friends. Feel the joy of freedom, the thrill of choice. Do not merely think it. Feel it until it possesses you. Feel it until it becomes more real than what the senses report. Persist in that state until it feels natural. This is the act that precedes the fact. Every master of wealth has understood this secret in one form or another. They may have called it faith, vision, mindset, vibration, but it is the same truth. They dared to believe in an unseen reality and lived as though it were already true. They acted, invested, spoke, and carried themselves in the confidence of what only they could see. And life, obedient to their inner decree, took shape around their vision. You too have that same power. The difference between the one who has and the one who wants lies only in assumption. The mind is a stage, and every assumption is a play upon it. When you assume, I am wealthy, all the characters and events required to make that assumption real begin to assemble themselves. You may not see how, but the law works perfectly. Every time you doubt, you tear down the scene. Every time you return to the feeling, you rebuild it stronger. Your world is a moving picture of your inner dialogue. Change the dialogue, and the picture must change. Stop saying one day. Stop postponing your good. The moment you say one day, you place your desire forever in the future. Say instead, I am. The words, I am, are the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Whatever follows those two words shapes your world. Say, I am abundant, and abundance begins to flow. Say, I am broke, and poverty hardens its grip. You are always declaring yourself into being. When you walk, walk with purpose. When you speak, let your words carry power. When you make a choice, make it from the state of abundance, not fear. The millionaire does not calculate whether he deserves, he knows he creates. He spends with joy because he knows circulation increases wealth. He gives because he understands that giving is proof of having. You must act on that same principle, even if the act seems small. Buy a coffee with gratitude as though it were a feast. Pay a bill with the awareness that more is coming. Every time you do, you reinforce the state of plenty. To act like a millionaire before the money also means releasing resentment toward those who have what you want. Envy declares separation. Gratitude declares unity. When you bless the success of others, you affirm your own power to succeed, the same law that made them wealthy lives in you. When you criticize or condemn, you deny that law and shut the door of your own prosperity. There is no shortage in the universe, only a shortage of belief. And yet belief must be married to feeling. You cannot merely affirm, I am rich, while feeling anxious or doubtful. The feeling is the secret key. Words without emotion are empty shells. When you feel the truth of your affirmation, the subconscious accepts it as reality and begins to manifest it. That feeling of wealth, of freedom, of peace, of power is what attracts the external symbols of money. It is not money that gives you the feeling. It is the feeling that gives you the money. Everything in life operates by law, and this law is no exception. What you assume is true, whether for good or ill, must materialize. The outer world does not discriminate, it simply mirrors. So if you assume, I am always struggling, life will gladly comply. If you assume, I am always rising, life will equally comply. The universe has no favorites, it has responses. Choose wisely what you assume. Now, many will ask, how long will it take? The answer, as long as it takes you to feel it natural. The moment you no longer struggle to believe, manifestation begins to crystallize. The delay is not in time, but in conviction. The moment you can say, of course I am wealthy, and feel it as obvious, the law has been fulfilled. The rest is simply the unfolding of outer events. You may notice coincidences begin to happen. Meetings, ideas, gifts, unexpected money, creative impulses. These are not accidents. They are the natural outpicturing of your new state. But beware of falling back into old thinking. The outer world will test your faith by presenting appearances of lack. Smile at them. They are the shadows of your former state, soon to dissolve. Stay faithful to your inner vision, and your harvest is certain. Some believe this is selfish, that to focus on wealth is to ignore others. But when you truly embody abundance, you overflow with generosity. You cannot give what you do not have. When you feel wealthy, you bless others with the same consciousness. Your wealth becomes a channel for good. To be poor in spirit helps no one. To be rich in awareness uplifts everyone you touch. Let us imagine a scene, a future moment where your financial freedom is complete. Perhaps you are sitting in your dream home, sunlight streaming through the windows, peace in your heart. You feel gratitude rising because you remember when it was only a dream. Now, here's the mystery. That future moment already exists in imagination. To dwell in it now is to draw it into the present. The creative act is to live from the end, not toward it. Feel now what you would feel then, and the bridge of events will form naturally. This principle applies not only to wealth, but to every area of life: health, love, purpose, success. But today we speak of money, because money is the symbol most men misunderstand. They think money is power, yet money is only the reflection of power, the power of consciousness. When you master the feeling of wealth, you master life itself. You are no longer the servant of circumstances, but the architect of destiny. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Every person you meet, every circumstance you encounter is reflecting your inner state. If you believe people will cheat you, they will. If you believe people will help you, they will. The law is impartial. Change your concept of self and you change your world. Do not mistake humble beginnings for failure. The seed does not resemble the tree, yet within it lies the whole forest. So too does the feeling of wealth, when planted and nourished, contain the million in embryo. Water it daily with faith, gratitude, and action. Never dig up the seed to check if it is growing. Simply know it must. The unseen work is the real work. The visible result is the after effect. Each morning, before you rise, imagine yourself as already living the life of your dreams. Let that feeling flood your being. During the day, act from it. When fear whispers, you can't answer, I already am. When doubt says, where is it? Answer, it is done. That calm confidence is the hallmark of true wealth. Money will come and go, but the state of abundance remains unshaken. Hold to that state, and you will never lack again. Some of you listening now have been struggling for years, waiting for a miracle. The miracle is waiting for you to dare to act before you see. You say, I'll feel successful when I succeed. I say, you'll succeed when you feel successful. The order of cause and effect is reversed in the spiritual realm. Feeling is the first creation, fact is the second. Begin now. Walk through your home as if it were already your mansion. Sit in your old car as if it were your new one. Count the few dollars in your hand as if they were millions. Feel the joy of already being there, and you will be there soon enough. To act like a millionaire before the money is to live in the end of your desire. It is to trust the unseen laws more than the visible facts. It is to know that you are the operant power of creation. The entire universe bends to the direction of your feeling. You are not waiting for abundance. It is waiting for your recognition. Do not despise the small beginnings, for they are the stepping stones of faith. Every time you choose to feel abundant in the face of lack, you expand your capacity to receive. Every act of inner conviction reshapes the pattern of your world. Persist, and the invisible will become visible. Act now as the millionaire you already are, and the world will have no choice but to catch up. So tonight, when you lie down to sleep, do not rehearse the worries of the day. Rehearse the victory already won. Feel the comfort of financial freedom wrapping around you. Hear the laughter of your fulfilled life. Drift into sleep as the wealthy one, and you will rise to meet that reality. Every night's dream becomes tomorrow's fact when you dream consciously. The question is not whether the law works. It always works. The question is whether you will dare to act as though it does. Will you believe in the unseen enough to change your state now? Will you act rich in heart before your bank account reflects it? For when you do, your outer world must obey. That is the promise of consciousness. Therefore, walk boldly. Speak as one who commands, not begs. Move with grace, not fear. Give thanks before you receive. Smile before the harvest, for it is already yours in imagination. This is not fantasy. It is faith in action. The world will tell you it is foolish to act rich without proof. Let them laugh, for the last laugh belongs to those who believed first. Every master creation begins with invisible certainty. The bridges will appear, the opportunities will unfold, the money will come, and when it does, you will smile knowing that it was never the money that made you rich. It was the state you chose to inhabit long before the evidence appeared. You were a millionaire the moment you felt it true. So go now and act as one who already owns the kingdom of his desire. Live in that invisible certainty. The feeling of wealth is wealth. The act of assumption is the act of creation. Everything you seek is already yours, waiting only for your recognition. Believe it, feel it, live it, and let the world rearrange itself to match the majesty of your inner conviction. That, my friends, is how to act like a millionaire before the money. Not by pretending, but by knowing. Not by wishing, but by assuming. Not by asking, but by declaring. The law cannot fail those who live from its truth. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you awaken to. And once awakened, the whole universe conspires to prove you right. When you rise in the morning, the first thing you must do is remember who you are. Before your feet touch the ground, anchor yourself in the knowing that you are already wealthy. Let that thought sink into every cell of your being. Whisper to yourself, I live in abundance. Do not say it to convince the mind. Say it because it is truth. For what you believe with feeling becomes the pattern upon which life prints its evidence. The morning is sacred because it is the moment between sleep and wakefulness when the mind is most impressionable. What you think then, you live later. Fill that silence with images of power, not fear. Visualize the light of wealth flowing toward you like a golden river. See yourself giving, spending, creating, and blessing others. Feel the warmth of financial freedom even before you rise. If you can hold that vibration for a few moments each morning, the rest of your day will move in harmony with it. Throughout the day, keep the inner dialogue clean. The millionaire's mind does not entertain smallness. Every time you catch yourself saying, I can't afford this, replace it instantly with, it's already mine in consciousness. You may not yet see how it will come, but the way will reveal itself through intuition and opportunity. The law of consciousness never fails to deliver to the persistent dreamer. To act like a millionaire means to stop reacting to appearances. It means to hold fast to the inner conviction that your invisible wealth is more real than your visible lack. The senses will tempt you with doubt, but faith is seeing through them. You must train yourself to respond as if you already have everything you seek. When a bill arrives, bless it and say, "I'm grateful that I can pay it easily." That statement made in conviction shifts you instantly into the state of plenty. The act of assumption must become your daily habit. You assume wealth not once but constantly, until the feeling of abundance becomes the natural air you breathe. Think of how an actor becomes his role. At first, it feels like pretending, but as he repeats the lines, wears the costume, lives the scenes, he begins to feel it as real. Soon, he no longer acts. It becomes him. That is what it means to act like a millionaire before the money. You rehearse the feeling of wealth so often that it fuses with your identity. Then life, obedient to the image you project, brings you the stage and props to match your performance. It is not necessary to know the path. The how is never your concern. Your task is to dwell in the end. You are not the manager of the universe. You are the dreamer of it. Once the dream is felt as real, the unseen laws arrange everything. Events move, people align, opportunities appear, all guided by the vibration you sustain. This invisible mechanism is flawless. The only thing that delays manifestation is your doubt or your habit of reverting to the old state. The law works like a mirror. You cannot frown into it and expect a smile. You must smile first. Then, without fail, the reflection smiles back. You may say, "But I have no evidence." My friend, evidence comes last. The world of form is slow, dense, delayed. The world of imagination is swift, immediate, alive. You plant the seed in imagination and trust that it must bear fruit. The moment you demand proof, you dig up the seed. Let go of the impatience that kills miracles. Live each day as though your wealth were already established. Walk differently, stand differently. Speak with confidence. Even your smallest gestures must reflect certainty. The universe listens not to your words, but to your energy. When your vibration says, "I already have it," the forms of abundance rush to match you. The feeling of wealth is not only in luxury, but in peace. The truly rich are calm because they know they can create again if they lose everything. That is the essence of power. Not the accumulation of money, but the awareness that you are the source of it. To act like a millionaire is to realize that money is a servant, not a master. It is drawn to your state of being like iron to a magnet. You can chase it, and it will flee, or you can assume it, and it will seek you. The more you relax into this truth, the faster it flows. Anxiety blocks, faith releases. When you feel rich, you become rich. The universe is impartial. It mirrors only what you radiate. Let your imagination become your constant companion. See yourself walking into rooms where people greet you with respect. See your business thriving, your accounts full, your life expanding. Do not force these visions. Play with them as a child plays with toys. A child does not doubt his imaginary castle. He lives in it joyfully. Be like that. The childlike imagination is the bridge to power. The moment you play freely with your vision, you enter the state of creation. The serious adult, bound by facts and fear, blocks the flow. But the playful creator opens the door of infinite supply. There will be moments when your outer world seems unchanged. Those are the testing moments, the periods between planting and harvest. In those times, reaffirm your faith. Say within yourself, "I know my world is catching up to my assumption." Every delay is an illusion of time. Reality is already created in the invisible. What you feel as real must appear in form. Hold that certainty. The longer you persist in the unseen, the faster the scene transforms. The universe bends to the steady will. A true millionaire consciousness is generous. It gives without fear because it knows supply is endless. Begin now by giving what you can. Time, kindness, encouragement, knowledge. Every act of giving affirms that you have, and what you affirm expands. Gratitude is the language of wealth. When you bless even the smallest thing, a cup of coffee, a warm bed, a quiet evening, you multiply that energy. Life responds to appreciation. Complain and you tighten the flow. Give thanks and you open it wide. Gratitude is the magnet of miracles. To act like a millionaire also means to choose quality over quantity. The rich mind values excellence, not excess. When you buy with intention. When you speak with clarity. When you plan with vision. Each act of deliberate choice strengthens the sense of mastery. You are not at the mercy of the world. The world is at the mercy of your vibration. Move through it with quiet authority. Stop seeking validation. Approval is the currency of the poor in spirit. You already are what you desire to be. Own that truth without apology. Your imagination is your workshop. At night, before sleep, enter it deliberately. Construct scenes of wealth that imply your wish fulfilled. Perhaps you see yourself writing a large check for charity, or signing a new business deal, or receiving a message of congratulations. Feel the thrill of it. Fall asleep in that mood. The subconscious, while you sleep, builds the bridge of events. When you awaken, act naturally as the person from that dream. The more real the feeling, the faster the manifestation. Never underestimate the power of one night's assumption. Dreams are the seeds of destiny. You may wonder why some people seem to manifest easily while others struggle. The reason is identification. Those who succeed do not merely visualize. They identify with the vision. They no longer say, I will be rich. They say, I am rich. The difference of a single word changes the vibration completely. The future tense keeps wealth always at a distance. The present tense claims it now. Every cell of your body responds to the command, I am. It rearranges itself to match that declaration. The outer world, being slower, follows. The discipline required is not in labor, but in awareness. You must catch yourself the moment you fall into the old pattern of lack and gently return to the new one. Do not scold yourself. Simply shift. Rehearse abundance in thought again and again until it becomes natural. In time, it will take no effort. The new state will feel like home. And once it feels natural, the external evidence becomes inevitable. The law has no choice but to solidify what you have embodied. Some may hear these words and dismiss them as fantasy. Let them. They live in a world ruled by effects, not causes. But you, who understand, know that everything seen was once unseen. Every skyscraper was once an invisible idea. Every fortune began as an image in the mind of one who refused to doubt. You have that same creative spark. Do not belittle it. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you align with the same power that hung the stars. Be mindful of your language, for words crystallize thought. Replace every statement of limitation with one of abundance. Instead of, I can't, say, I can and I will. Instead of, it's too expensive, say, it's easily within my reach. The subconscious does not argue. It accepts what it hears repeatedly. Speak wealth into your world until it cannot help but obey. Every conversation you have is a seed. Speak only what you wish to grow. Do not measure progress by appearances. The law works from the inside out. Sometimes the outer world must rearrange itself in ways that seem chaotic before the new order emerges. Trust the process. The old structures must fall for the new reality to rise. If people leave, if opportunities shift, if circumstances change, know that everything is moving in your favor. The unseen hand is aligning the puzzle pieces. Keep your eyes on the end. Everything else is preparation. The energy of wealth is expansive. It expresses itself in confidence, creativity, and calm. The more you dwell in that energy, the more ideas will flow through you. Ideas for business, for service, for art, for improvement. Follow them. Inspired action is the bridge between inner vision and outer manifestation. It is not forced, It is natural. When an idea excites you and feels aligned, act on it without hesitation. The universe rewards movement born from conviction. Remember that wealth is not limited to money. It includes time, health, love, peace, and freedom. A true millionaire consciousness balances all areas of life. You cannot be truly rich if your mind is full of worry or your relationships are empty. So as you assume financial abundance, also assume emotional and spiritual wealth. Picture harmony in your home, joy in your heart, vitality in your body. All riches flow from the same source, your consciousness. Do not fragment it. Embrace total abundance. Forgiveness is another key to riches. You cannot carry resentment and expect prosperity. Forgiveness releases blocked energy. When you forgive, you free yourself from the vibration of lack. Every grudge is a chain binding you to the past. Let it go. Bless those who wronged you, for they were actors in the old play that led you to awakening. The new play requires new energy, light, free, generous. Only then can abundance flow unimpeded. Each day, remind yourself that you are the operant power. Nothing moves until you move in consciousness. Circumstances are neutral. Interpretation gives them meaning. Choose meanings that empower. If an obstacle arises, see it as evidence that the old state is dissolving. If a door closes, imagine that a greater one is opening. Maintain your poise. The world responds to inner stability. Panic repels, calm attracts. Your imagination must become your daily refuge. Take moments during the day to close your eyes and return to the feeling of wealth. Let it wash over you like sunlight. Even 1 minute of genuine feeling outweighs hours of worry. The law of consciousness is sensitive to emotion. Every time you dwell in the vibration of abundance, you charge your field with creative power. The outer world must eventually conform. Understand also that money flows through channels, not from them. Do not worship a job, a client, or an investment. They are but instruments of the greater source. When one channel closes, the source opens another. Keep your faith in the invisible supply, not the visible conduit. That attitude frees you from fear and attracts new opportunities effortlessly. You are never dependent on a single stream. You are the ocean from which streams flow. Let generosity become your signature. Tip with gratitude. Compliment sincerely. Share knowledge freely. The more you pour out, the more flows in. The universe loves circulation. Stagnation breeds lack. Each act of giving declares, I have more than enough. And that declaration must be proven true. Watch how life multiplies whatever you give from love. To act like a millionaire before the money is to rise above appearances into the creative realm of being. It is to know that the invisible governs the visible, that feeling precedes fact, that faith precedes fortune. It is to realize that you are the center of creation, not its servant. Everything you seek already exists in potential form, waiting for your recognition. You need only assume the state and persist in it until it hardens into reality. Practice mental conversations that affirm your new identity. Hear friends praising your success. Hear yourself speaking words of confidence and generosity. Hear the excitement in your own voice as you describe the life you live. The subconscious accepts these imaginary dialogues as real and brings corresponding experiences. You are never limited by what is outside you, only by what you imagine yourself to be inside. If ever you feel discouraged, remember that persistence is omnipotent. The law cannot deny a sustained assumption. Time bends to conviction. Keep imagining, keep feeling, keep acting from the end. The day will come when you look around and realize that everything once invisible has become visible. The world will call it coincidence or luck, but you will know the truth. You created it by living in the feeling of wealth long before the money appeared. And even then, you will smile, for the secret will no longer be secret to you. You will know that the true treasure was never the money, but the discovery of your power to command reality from within. That is the richest realization any soul can attain. So now, as you stand at the edge of your next decision, remember this truth: the millionaire you dream of becoming is already within you. You do not wait for the world to hand you proof. You create it. The mansion, the success, the freedom, the respect, the wealth, all of it begins in the quiet conviction that you are already worthy, already abundant, already complete. The moment you dare to feel rich in spirit, life rushes to match that vibration. Every cell, every event, every door begins to align with the frequency of your new identity. Stop chasing the reflection and start shaping the cause. You are not trying to become something. You are remembering what you already are. Let the world see the confidence, the poise, the faith, the generosity of one who knows his power. Act now, live now, believe now. Because when you do, money is no longer the goal. It becomes the echo of your certainty. Wealth follows awareness the way shadow follows light. So step forward and claim your throne, not someday, but today. Walk, speak, and live as the millionaire you already are in consciousness. For the truth is unshakable. The world can only mirror the greatness you dare to assume.